Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Brahma Mera Striparan Takare. Banu Shashi Bhamisita. Buddha Sha Guru Sha Shukra. Shani Rahu Keteva. Sarve Graha Shanti Kara Bhavantu. Om Om Hrim Gurave Namaha. Om Hrim Shukraya Namaha. Well, greetings and welcome to Cosmic Kev 100, your weekly astro video zine, where we take the planets, known as grahas, the houses of the zodiac, known as babas, and the signs of the zodiac, known as rishis, and we put them all together in a form that's hopefully understandable for you. Now, this show is still mostly in the tropical astrology tradition. This is for Friday, February 9th through the 15th, 16th of February 2024. So, first thing to say is Gung Hei Fat Choi. This is for Friday. So for Friday today, 1 minute before 3 o'clock p.m., there's a new moon. And so in Western astrology, we'd say it's a new moon in Aquarius, but if we were actually looking at it astronomically, it's in the constellation of Capricorn, and it's in a lunar mansion known by the Vedas as Dynista. Now, Dynista has some really unique musical ability and talent in it. It's known as the drum of Shiva, sometimes referred to as the flute of Krishna. It's ruled by Mars, and all the Mars-ruled nakshatras are half air signs, half earth signs. So we're still in the earth half. We're just going into Dynista. We actually started out the morning and still in Shravana, which is to listen and to hear. And Dynista is about leadership, and it's sort of a lonely path when you're a leader. And a lot of people are going to have to break off into leadership because there's some world dominating forces that want to take away people's liberty and make all your life decisions for you, for your government, for everyone. And they're kind of like one size fits all policies for control. I mean, that's pretty obvious. And, you know, I think if you're doing well, you have to be thankful and live for the day. Now, this is going to be the wood dragon. And so, like I said, Gong Hei Fat Choi. Wood dragon, monkey, and rat tend to be like the best signs for like business in Chinese astrology. And so economically, there's some promise that things will be good and that business will be good. There's some signs that are going to do better with the dragon. If you are a dragon, this will be a year of a lot of accelerated growth. So you're going to see a lot of personal growth happening in your life this year. As you know, it usually corresponds with a Jupiter return. Now, being somewhat an experienced person, I was a youngster. I was in I think kindergarten and first grade the last year of the Wood Dragon. But what do I remember from that year? I remember that the Beatles came on Ed Sullivan's show right around the time that Year of the Dragon came about, and it was such a cultural change, to see men with like slightly longer than usual hair singing these really catchy pop rock tunes, and having younger teenage girls literally pee their pants to see them and get super excited. And it was just like, wow, this is amazing. And my dad said, what do you think of this? And I remember I was only 5 years old, and I was like, well, it seems really cool, Dad. And then he says, no, it's not. It's ridiculous. Look at them. I was like, oh, well. I don't think I really agreed with my dad, though. I knew something was coming on. Now, another thing happened that I think is in some ways even more significant. On the University of California, Berkeley, which sometimes kind of in a snobbish way is referred to as Cal. I go to Cal. I'm like, oh God, please, not one of those. Um, but, they had a free speech movement then. And people got on top of a police car. I mean, this is before the hippie thing. These are guys in skinny ties and, relatively conservatively dressed folks, but they demanded that there be freedom of speech. In the last 7 years, freedom of speech is dying in this country. And I think, the press is much more mainline, streamlined to what corporate needs are. And corporate needs are not necessarily what your needs are, but the corporation will tell you that they are your needs and you're going to do what they say. There's a very interesting, alliance, I thought, with the Democratic Party and artificial intelligence companies like Google and things like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and with big pharma, with Moderna, Pfizer, Bayer, all kinds of big drug companies. And these companies together are way more powerful than the oil industry that used to be sort of like the big influencer, especially in the Republican Party. And so it's sort of like there's a mass movement to kind of ignore the elephant in the room, and I get the feeling in the year of the dragon, that dragon's going to show its face, and the elephant in the room will no longer be able to be ignored. And so I think that we're going to see a return to freedom of speech, actually, and we're going to see a return of wild, crazy music and expressive creativity. This is also when the civil rights movement got really underway. And it's kind of like, recently Chile just had fires just like they were in Maui. Some of the same companies were there at the same time. And I'm like, man, people, we have to wake up and be aware that there's something bigger than us and what we're being told by legacy media happening in the world right now. And I was able to speak to someone who visited the United States from Denmark like every 5 years, and he came back this year and he says, I can't believe how stupid people have gotten in this country. They're canceling the very history that made their place interesting, and they're doing it in the name of like native rights, but you're missing on what happened. What actually went down is not being told, and whatever contributions that worked or were good by some of those settlers is not being acknowledged. And it's like, wow, well, this is interesting. And this is somebody who was an anthropologist, kind of a college professor from Denmark, and I thought, wow, we're not being told the same story. We're just being told what to do and how wonderful we are for doing it. So, Denista, in this new moon and this enter the dragon, the wood dragon, it's going to cause, wood is about growth. Wood rules the liver. Wood in Chinese medicine, wood rules this sort of feeling of like you need to take a machete because there's just too much that we have to cut through. We're kind of lost in the woods. Wood type people often like to live in the woods alone, and I don't blame people for wanting to be preppers and to be in the world. Food prices are outrageous. Being able to grow your own, being able to wildcraft a little bit, it's a gift if you don't live in an urban area where there's an extensive amount of people, where it's going to have huge environmental impacts. So there's all these things to consider. Anyhow, I think the good news is that, nothing's permanent, and, change is what it takes for us all to grow. And I think if you're born in year of the monkey, year of the rat, even year of the boar, even year of the rooster, it's probably going to be a fairly decent year for you. You don't have much to fear or worry about. Some of the other Chinese zodiac signs, it might be a little bit rougher. And I imagine since the state of California's year of the dog, it's probably going to be really rough on the state of California because that's opposite of what the dragon is. So anyhow, we can just keep that in mind as we go through this here. And overall, though, happy expression, being happy in yourself and expressing it in a good way is going to be the way to get through this year. So I'm going to go sign by sign. Not messing too much signs. Starting in the Western zodiac, you know. In Western zodiac, it's new moon in Aquarius. It's always the second new moon after the winter solstice. That starts Chinese New Year. So if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you're born, you know, January 14th or something, you're not a dragon this year, you know, because it's not, you know, Chinese New Year hadn't happened yet. You're a water rabbit. So going from water to wood. Okay, so the other thing is we do have planets. I mean, we have Mars on Monday at 10:05 p.m. moving into Aquarius. So Mars in Capricorn is exalted, and I mean it'll still be in Capricorn constellation in Vedic astrology. So there's still this sort of energy of like, yeah, get it done. You know, this is good for business, but I think what we're going to see is a lot of social unrest. I was just watching a video on Ireland, and they're just kind of like they're tired of having to accommodate other people when they're not getting accommodated. And I think that's with all these influxes of immigration, what's going on in Europe and in North America. We have a lot of questions going on right now, and it's like it used to be, you know, pretty hard to cross the border, and now it's crazy, and people are coming in from Arabic countries, China en masse, a lot of military-age people, and it's not. I mean, I think we can just discredit everything I'm saying here by just saying it's conspiracy, because I guess that's like the magic buzzword to keep the oligarchs in power. Everyone who disagrees with us is a conspiracy theorist. See how easy that works? You can just kind of, you know, you don't have to investigate anymore. You just said it's a conspiracy. It doesn't work that way. Well, anyhow, Aries, I think of you as a relatively brilliant sign, also a courageous sign that knows how to take care of your own business and push ahead. I mean, your whole social life is going to be more organized. You could participate in like team sports this year. That might be something that's going to be coming about, and something to look at as you go through there. You know, they say that the dragon is a lot like Aries, and this is the sixth sign in the Chinese zodiac, I think, or fourth sign rather. It's the fourth sign, I think, because we start with a rat. We go rat to ox to tiger to rabbit. So rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon. So I guess dragon is the fifth sign. Okay, so dragon. And this is very becoming. 5 is kind of a lucky number in a lot of ways. It's a sexy number. It's a number of creativity in a lot of ways too. And you've got the North Node there, Aries, in front of you. And so there's a lot of shadowy kind of activity this year that you have to deal with. Jupiter is in your second house. That helps bring economic opportunity. But by later on this year, Jupiter's going to go into Gemini, and that's your third house. So this might mean you're moving, going to a new neighborhood, new neighbors, issues involving siblings, being able to write, journal more. This will be a good year to kind of keep a journal about everything going down. This is greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, Taurus is, you know, kind of known as a more status quo sign, and I wouldn't say that about all my Taurus friends. I mean, I do have some kind of more radical Taurus friends, but generally speaking, you know, they like things to be comfortable, slow moving, earth, don't rock the boat. Also sensitive hearing. Often good musicians are born in this particular sign, but it's fixed, so it has sort of this more stubborn, unyielding kind of core to it. And so I imagine, you know, this in some ways there'll be some resistance, although you've gone through a lot of growth in the past year since Jupiter's been in your first house. And let's just see, when does Jupiter go into Gemini? That's probably a good thing to look at right now, just so we know. And it doesn't seem like it's going to happen right away. I mean, it's going to, well, let's see. Oh no, it will happen. It seems like it's going to happen this summer at the end, or late spring at the end of May. So at the end of May, there'll be much more, you're going to be really in tune to your finances and where things are going. And, I've heard, rumors about digital currency and other things coming around, and it could really affect the value of finances. And so we're going to be looking at that as we go. And then by, next weekend should be a really good weekend for you. Not so much this one, but, Moon will go into Taurus and things will start moving forward. Sun is going to move out of sidereal Capricorn into sidereal Aquarius. So the Vedic Aquarius, and that's going to happen, let's see here, I would say by Tuesday. So on Tuesday, there's going to be just this energy shift, and we're going to be valuing our connection with each other as human beings all that much more. Okay. Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, I mean, for Gemini, having Jupiter come in your first house is kind of a good thing. It's going to bring more spiritually minded people in your life. It's going to show you new opportunities for growth, new opportunities for wealth, new opportunities to improve your health. It seems like right now, just looking at where everything is, it's all in the public. And so it's like, this is a year where you're much more likely to be in the public eye. Currently speaking, with Venus in the 8th house, might be a lot of focus on your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, or lack of which, and somehow asking other people for help is not the worst thing you could do right now. That actually can help you a lot. I mean, your brilliance, all these planets in Aquarius have increased your luck. They've increased your ability to mentally function. So, I mean, I think you've got some really high-minded ideas this year. And certainly you are the freedom of speech sign. If there's anyone who's going to bring back freedom of speech and tolerance, I'm expecting it to be Gemini. Okay, so greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. So, the lunar aspects, this week. So we're going to have the moon go from Aquarius into Pisces on Sunday, by Monday getting into Aries, and Monday, Tuesday will be the, moon will be up here. Also, just like Gemini, a lot of stuff dealing with the public, relationships. I mean, since Venus is in Capricorn, I mean, relationships should be sweeter. And you're better at negotiating, and, you might be getting that love of your life that you've been wanting so much. That's happening as we get into, Wednesday and Thursday, the moon will be exalted in Taurus. It'll be in your 11th house, which could help you financially, can help you socially. This year as a whole, I think what's going to happen is there's still a lot of good fortune coming your way. But like once we get to the end of May, it's like focus on your spiritual life. That's really, keep a dream journal. Pay attention to your dreams. That's where things are really going to hit harder and are going to need to be looked at more. Greetings, Leah, and welcome to your horoscope. And so, what do we got going on here? Well, I mean, for you, everything's about relationships right now. And, you might be working on just being a better coworker, but everything is about communication, transformation of who you're working with and who you are in relationship with. This year of the dragon, we're starting with both Jupiter and Uranus together in your 10th house. So there's a lot of inspiration, a lot of changes, a lot of shocks in the career world. And, as we go into the summer, it's like your social life is going to be enhanced. There's going to be other opportunities for you to make wealth, bring wealth. You might have people kind of calling you out lately on the way you behave or wish you behaved in a certain way. And it's just like, just peacefully go, well, I'm glad you brought that up. Well, I can understand why you might think that. Rather than be defensive, that's probably the key to successfully negotiating this. Well, greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. Also, everything is relationship right now. With you, it's about relationship at work and being good with your coworkers and just, staying focused on what needs to be done. There's just a lot of things that require attention, that require service, that you have to watch your health. So definitely try to eat a little better. February is a month that most people in the Northern Hemisphere get sick. They're going to get an illness. It's, you're in midwinter, just before early spring, and there's these shifts and your body's just trying to adjust. And so you've got to just be ready, and just by avoiding things that are going to cause inflammation like sugar and flour products and seed oils, avoiding those things and just eating mostly like living food that's not processed, maybe cooked just minimally so that you get the maximum amount of vitamins and nutrients out of it, avoiding dairy unless it's raw and you're okay with dairy, and avoiding animal products at all, unless, there's a need for it physically and they're pasture raised, grass-fed, non-GMO kind of animals. They're trying to turn us all into GMO animals. Oh, greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. It's always everything in the balance, right? And, and for you, you're no stranger to things being in relationship. I think for Libra, this is a really happy time overall. This is an uplifting time. I think this year is going to be really uplifting for you. There's going to be changes. If you have children, focusing on your children is going to be big for this week. And generally speaking, it's going to be fairly big in the year. Once Jupiter goes into your 9th house, like over the summer, like I see you traveling a lot. Like this is going to be a really expansive summer for you. That's going to be fun. If you have an estranged relationship with your father, or even a good relationship with your father, those relationships can be improved a lot this year because of Jupiter's position transiting your 9th house this year. So that's something to give thanks for. And of course, it's, and here in the United States, there's this funny holiday we have called Valentine's Day. It's a Hallmark day, but the moon does go into Taurus, and it's in Ashvini Nakshatra and Aries in Vedic astrology, which makes me think this could be really healing for people's relationships. Just appreciation, making a good meal, just staying real down to earth. That's the key. That's the focus here. And I think, having an earlier Valentine's Day might work better for you. Just doing something on, say, Monday, Tuesday. All right. So, greetings, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, most of the planets are kind of like at the bottom of your chart, which is like family, more introspection. Venus in the 3rd house. If you have sisters, you want to connect with them. Your female friends, you're kind of likely to be connecting with them more. Writing, artwork, that type of thing is going to work out well for you. Mars moving over into Aquarius is sort of like working on your house, kind of sticking around with home projects. All these planets in Aquarius imply that, more or less. Jupiter's position, has been sweet relationship-wise as in Taurus, so that's probably helped. It's probably especially helped women get in relationships and husbands As far as Jupiter now moving over into your 8th house over the summer, really learning more about like astrology, tarot, religion in general, the mysteries. How does prayer work? How do we change things? You know, the joy of the Lord is my strength. The law of giving. Giving brings more money for you to get more wealth. You wouldn't think that, but just giving with a joyful heart is going to help you, and having other people help you. You know, getting better alliances so you have help when you need it. You're not going to feel like you're in a lot of control over things this year, Scorpio. I think there's still some career boosts that are going to happen between now and the end of spring. I think overall, though, you're in this placement where you're working on a project to bring something much more positive and strengthening to light. And you know, issues involving children and education could come up too as well. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, Year of the Dragon, overall, I think is going to be good. It's going to be somewhat rewarding. I mean, it's starting out with a lot of hard work. If you've been in a drier cycle with relationships, towards the end of spring, it's much more likely you'll be in a relationship and that you'll be relating to good people. If you're dissatisfied with your old job and you're banking on getting a new job, that's going to happen. There's new opportunities available for you, and you could be an asset to that. Or even if you wanted to start your own business too. I mean, I could see you doing some new startup that's actually rather successful for you. Now, Jupiter right now is asking you to work hard, take care of your health. This summer, it's going to be about making good alliances and demonstrating yourself to be a high value person. Greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, you know, Venus still in Capricorn most of this week. I mean, it's just like you're still a sweetheart. Some of your better qualities are coming out. I've had some really, well, come to think of it, I've had some very nice interactions with Capricorn people in the last week, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is probably because of Venus being there. And so, you know, Venus and Saturn are actually friends. I mean, you wouldn't think that in some ways, because Saturn seems kind of like old and stodgy and, you know, do things by the rules, and Venus seems to be a little more free-flowing, easygoing, live and let live. But they actually really need each other. You know, Saturn needs Venus to soften it, and Venus needs Saturn so that energy can have a container and it can be directed. So there's like really good things happening in that sense. I mean, the focus is on neighborhoods, community, building alliances, and I would really discourage getting into this polarity and this whole like civil war they're trying to preemptively program us towards. Is that everyone has value, left, right, and somebody says, which side are you on? They asked me the other way. I said, I'm going to be on the inside. The inside, making my inside as loving and as kind and as compassionate to other people where they're at, to become a better listener and become a better musician too. I think that'll be the way I will work on this level. And if you're in that game too, Capricorn, I'd say, yeah, you use. And so even conflict presents opportunities. All right, greetings, Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I want to give some shouts out to some Aquarius people I know. Nancy Wigman, who is having a birthday today. I think she's 79. She's a yoga teacher. Also to another man born the exact same day, the exact same year, Greg Johnson, who's like grandpa to Cypress and Conifer, and lives out in the Pleasant Valley side of town there. Appreciate you. And to other people having birthdays this week, Cameron Scott, happy birthday to you. I believe Cameron's turning 37. And, you know, just love and live and do your best with whatever gifts you have. Also, Scott Richmond over in Florida. I think Scott's turning 69, so happy birthday to Scott. Yeah, I mean, you've got Pluto. So, like, Pluto, it's not in aspect with the sun so tightly like it was last week, but you're going through some kind of changes. There's a little bit of upheaval with Pluto, there's some insights. And, one of the things I remember Stephen Forrest, the evolutionary Western astrologer, would say is that Pluto tends to destroy everything it touches. And I mean, he loves Aquarius and he loves Saturn ruled signs in general. He's a Western Capricorn sun. But I'll tell you, folks, Pluto tends to destroy whatever it touches. So what's going to be destroyed? Humanity. Humanity is going to go through the ringer, whether it's through ecology or human warfare or oppressive laws that hurt people's ability to be free and enjoy the goodness of the earth. We got to be ready, and the best way to be ready is to have good alliances with each other and, create food banks with each other. Different people can stock up on different things, and you can have better trade and exchange that way with each other. I think, preparing for whatever kind of changes are coming, and also creating like a spiritual satsang, a church, a temple, a koinonia, a group where you gather to kind of nourish and support each other. That's going to be super important this year. And I know that those kind of institutions really suffered badly during the pandemic, the lockdown, the damn panic, as I call it. And the forbidden thing is to look at who got wealthy at the expense of small businesses and other people. That's the reality, folks. Greetings, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, here we go. It's like for Pisces, this is all about you and personal transformation. Now, Aquarius time is 12th house, a lot of 12th house planets. You're dealing with a lot of personal karma right now. So how can you deal with this karma and make sure that you are renewing not only yourself, but other people and letting go. And one of the things in this let go, and 12th house transits are often about loss, is giving to others. Let that loss, don't let the universe take stuff away from you when you have a chance to be generous first, because that way you'll be making good karma, and that will preserve, and it's going to clear the way. Because like next week, when we do next week's horoscope, Sun's going to move into Pisces. It's going to be your time to shine is going to start, and a lot of this other stuff that's just sort of heavy or seems cold and detached, because in a lot of ways that's how Aquarius can sometimes operate. It can be inspiring, it can be lovely and accepting of all peoples, but it also can be like Reaganomics, and Dan Quayle, and it's not all connection and stuff. In fact, I found that the last few years have really hurt people's imagination on other ways that we can do things. And others, it's probably helped that they become more imaginative. And I want to keep it going that way, because the gift of Aquarius is to be innovative. It's to be inventive. It's to accept everybody and to want to have connection with our people. Thank you so much for tuning in. I encourage you to subscribe, hit the like button. I need more subscribers. I want to hear about your stories. Tell me about your rising sign, your moon sign, and your as well as your sun sign, and how life has been affecting you lately. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tat Sat.